CeeLo killed this shit. CeeLo killed this shit.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live all right. I'm back with another stream, and I want to apologize for not streaming yesterday. I didn't have the time, and also it was Thursday night. I had to go to work. I had to go to work the next day, obviously. Well, I had to go to work today, and what else do I have to say? And I may go live. Actually, first of all, this stream will be short because the Indiana and Oregon game is about to come on soon. So I'll be watching that. And also, after this stream, after the game, then I might go live again for a short late night stream, maybe. We'll see. Just possibly, doing the usual reactions to some videos and playing some games. Probably dispatch after the game. Well, we'll see. We'll see. All right. Hang on. Give me a minute. All right. So I can't react to some highlights because I went live on YouTube. So I guess I'll react to it later. Yeah, Arsenal and Liverpool played yesterday. I guess I'll obviously I'll react to it later. But anyways, let's watch these MBG videos first. All right, man, what's going on with Nebraska? So Nebraska football just got screwed over. Okay, let's see what happened.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hope all of you having a great Wednesday. Hope all of you having a great week. If not, hope this video can make it a little bit better. And man, oh man, we got a ton of stuff we're going to be talking about in this video. But the main topic, without a shadow of a doubt in my mind, is Nebraska. They just got screwed over. This is by far one of the most unique and just bizarre situations I've ever seen covering the transfer portal. You got to see it. You're not going to want to miss out what happened there. And there's some other notable players that we get updates on, and we got to cover it. Before we go any farther, I got to say big shout out to Cal.
We do not care.
About it, it's college football in 2026. This isn't the first time we've seen this happen, and it's not going to be the last. One of the best receivers for Texas this year, he entered the portal. We talked about it, Mr. Parker Livingstone. But here's the catch. Here's why we're talking about it again. Because guess where he decided to transfer to?
He went to Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. Yeah, that's a big no-no. Or back in the day, it was a big no-no. I'm telling you. This isn't that big of a deal anymore. I talked about it when there were rumors flying around with DJ Lagway considering going to Florida State. If you're a Florida State fan and Florida fan, you know how just crazy that is. And I can relate to it because Alabama got Aiden Holloway, we're talking about basketball for a second, from Auburn. And that was weird to see a former Auburn basketball player in an Alabama uniform, but now I'm used to it and I'm over it. And it's not like I had a problem with it in first place. You know how I felt when the news came out that Aiden Holloway was transferring to Alabama? I was like, sweet, welcome to the team. Anybody that can help the team, I'm all here for it. As a Bama fan, I could care less where you played last year, even if it is at our arch nemesis of school, the Auburn Tigers. That doesn't change the fact, though, that it takes me a little while to get used to it, and I think I'm more accepting of it than some other fans out there. But I don't have a problem with this at all, and I don't think it was a situation where Parker Livingstone was going, okay, how can I get back at Texas? Oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to transfer to Oklahoma, yeah, our rival school. I don't think it went down that way, but who knows? Maybe it did, and I wouldn't fault him for it. If you don't know the backstory, I don't think it went down that way, but who knows? Maybe it did, and I wouldn't fault him for it.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame him for it either. They just he wanted to stay, and Texas, they're looking for another receiver, and Parker, he had to go. And imagine if this happened. Imagine if something like that, something like this happened years ago, like several years ago. That would be absolutely insane. Imagine a player like think of one college player like that played college football years ago. Let's think of somebody like Baker Mayfield. Imagine if Baker Mayfield entered the transfer portal and went to Texas. That would be absolutely just ridiculous, and everybody would be talking about it. And, you know, fans will just be pissed off and saying that, oh, he's a traitor, you know, all that. And I know, like, I know it's not really the same thing, because Baker Mayfield, he's a college football legend, and Parker Livingstone, he's not right now.
If you don't know the backstory and lore, Texas pretty much told him to kick rock.
But I'm just saying, like, it would be ridiculous if it happened. It would be even more ridiculous if it happened years ago.
They told him to walk. And he had to be feeling some type of way about it, rightfully so. I would be too, because he was one of their best wide receivers. So he's sitting there going, wait a minute, I just bought out for y'all and you're telling me I got to go? All right, that's fine. I'll go to Oklahoma and play you every single year. How about that? And I'll go off against you. Maybe that played into it. It certainly could have. But I think this was more of a thing where he wanted to go to a good college football program, and Oklahoma is that. And he wanted to go and be in a situation where he could play right away. And he more than likely would do that as well. Wishing him the best of luck. Moving along here to topic number 2. I'm only going to spend 30 seconds talking about this. Just a brief update. Arizona State's transfer quarterback, Sam Leavitt, one of the top quarterbacks in the portal. He's visiting Tennessee. Keep your eyes on that. Him and Josh Heupel could be dangerous. That would be exciting. But how about this one? The former Oklahoma and Auburn quarterback Jackson Arnold is officially transferring to UNLV. I love this. This is a win-win for both parties. It's a win for Jackson Arnold because you get to start and play football again, and it's a win for Dan Mullen. You're getting one of the better quarterbacks out there. Well, hold on. Let me go back on that. When I say one of the better quarterbacks, you have to understand UNLV is a part of the group of 5, and Jackson Arnold is what I would consider a good group of 5 quarterback. Now, is he a good SEC quarterback? Heck to the no. Would he even be good anywhere else in the Power 4? Probably not. But for group of 5, yeah, you'll take him. Congratulations to UNLV. But let's get into the main topic of Man on Court. Main reason you clicked onto this video. What in the world is going on with the Cornhuskers? Well, I tell you what, partner, it's chaos, to say the least. Straight chaos. I've been following the situation ever since it's been going on. And I feel like we have enough information to talk about it at this point. I could have made a video on this 2 days ago or 1 day ago, but I wanted to see it fully play out. For those of you that don't know, a couple of days ago, Notre Dame's backup quarterback, Kenny Mitchell, he wound up committing.
I seen this. So this quarterback, Notre Dame transfer, Kenny Mitchell, he committed to Nebraska, but he flipped his commitment and went to Kentucky.
It was official. He committed to Nebraska. Seemed like great news for Nebraska. They got their quarterback of the future at Ravioli leaving, and that was going to be the end-all, be-all. But just like the man, the myth, the legend, Lee Corso says, not so fast, my friend. Him committing to Nebraska, that was about 3 or 4 days ago. Well, 2 days ago, the breaking news comes out, and it was less than 24 hours, that he is flipping his commitment from Nebraska to Kentucky? What? What's going on? I was as confused as everybody else. I was like, wait a minute. When I saw the graphic, I thought he just committed to Nebraska. He did. He flipped his commitment in the portal. How about that? So Nebraska was just in a terrible situation because they was like, all right, we can breathe. We're giving Kenny Mitchell a couple $1 million. All right, we're good there. We don't have to worry about the quarterback position. Next thing they know, Kenny Mitchell, he's going to Kentucky. And they're like, well, dang, we're back to square one. We don't even have a quarterback. And everybody knows this. You're not doing anything without a quarterback in the Big 2026 in college football. You got to have a QB. I could harp on that, but you understand it. It's crazy, flipping from Nebraska to Kentucky. But here is the next question people start asking. Well, wait a minute. Why would you leave Nebraska for Kentucky? Well, I'll put it to you like this. It's not for football reasons. Kentucky is not very good. They are one of the worst teams in the SEC year in and year out. And Nebraska, I wouldn't say they're on the uptrend, but they play in the Big Ten, the sorry Kentucky Big Ten, and I think next year they could easily win 8 games. But Kentucky would have to play out of their minds next year to win 8 games. There's just levels to it. Nebraska's not really in rebuild mode, but Kentucky, they are. It's just a way better situation at Nebraska if you could ask me. Now, the offensive line in Nebraska was awful, but I still would say Nebraska is currently the slightly better program than Kentucky, and it's not saying much. So why did this happen, though? Because nobody in their right mind is leaving Nebraska to go Kentucky, because at best, you could only consider this a lateral move. From everybody I talked to, from all of our reliable sources, I was told a blank check pretty much was thrown at him from Kentucky. They told him straight up, whatever
blank
Nebraska offered
check?
you, we'll top it, whatever the number is. And guess what? They did. So kudos to Kentucky. And it's crazy. It really is. The Kentucky Wildcats in football, not basketball, football, went band for band with Nebraska and won. This is me sugarcoating it. Kentucky pretty much dunked on Nebraska, shattered the backboard, and scraped their nuts on their head. This was the ultimate teabag, and it was the ultimate I have FU money move. They just straight up told Mitchie, yeah, whatever. What'd they give you? $1 million? Psh, ain't nothing. We'll top it. And they did. I'm going to keep it a Fortnite V-Buck with you. Is Kenny Mitchie worth it? Probably not. He's not worth schools going band for band over him, but it is funny. And it's just a baller move by Kentucky. You got to respect it. Even if they win one game next year, as a fan, you can point to, oh, yeah, well, season's not going too well, but at least we won the band for band with Nebraska. Well, it's so comical to me, and this isn't the first time we've seen this either. You've seen it for the past couple of years, and we'll see it for the next couple of years, probably until the day I stop covering this stuff. People said, oh, my gosh, I can't believe Kenny Mitchie did that to Nebraska. I just can't believe somebody would do that. How can they sleep at night? What? That is my...
Said Will Compton. Yeah, he's like he used to play for. Yeah, he used to play for Nebraska. Kenny Minchie just effed Nebraska. He committed. He was supposed to visit tomorrow. Agent had paperwork and said he was signing. Kentucky hit him with a blank check. Lack of honor and spine led him to switch before signing the contract. Agent complied.
remark to it. What do you mean you can't believe it? Now notice, nowhere in this video have I stated I can't believe Kenny Mitchell did this. I'm just saying he screwed him over, which he did. But to sit up here and act perplexed by this decision, you're just not very smart. If you gotta ask me, you're dumb. And here's why. Let me explain. So let me get this right. You're shocked that a young man, and not even just a young man, but a person in general, chose more money at the same job? Riddle that to me. I know everyone doesn't view it this way, but when you're talking about the transfer portal and NIL negotiations, this is no longer college football. It is a business. And as a quarterback, you know what business model you have? Service-based business. You're providing a service for a said team, which in this analogy would be a company. It doesn't matter if you play at Kentucky or Nebraska. You're doing the same thing, so why not get paid more? I'd love to sit up here and tell you guys I'm a rocket scientist and I'm the sharpest tool in the shed, but come on now, this is common sense. You go after the money. I mean, it'd be different if we're talking about he left Ohio State for Kentucky. We're talking about Nebraska and Kentucky. Let's be real. At max, both of these teams. This is at max. We're winning 9 games next year. So you know how Mitchie and his agent are looking at it and how I'm looking at it as well? You might as well get paid more. Anybody that's upset about this, you're just a hypocrite, because if you were a plumber and you were making $150,000 a year for one company and another company came in and said, we'll give you $250,000 to do the same exact thing, you'd leave and join
Yeah, you're taking the job. Taking it in a heartbeat.
the new company. Yet again, I will divert back to this. It doesn't change the fact that he screwed over Nebraska, but in this situation, we all would have screwed over Nebraska. Moving along here, though, what does this mean for Nebraska? They got to go after a new quarterback, and they've already done that. They wound up going after former Virginia and UNLV quarterback Anthony Calandria. If you got to ask me, I think this is a good pickup, and he'll be solid for Nebraska next year, but it's Nebraska. They're irrelevant. They're going to win 7 or 8 games max, so good for them, I guess. He was good for UNLV, but it is UNLV. They're not playing the stiffest of stiff competition. Nebraska's irrelevant, though, so I'm not going to spend too much more time talking about them. Let me know your thoughts down below. But
In the 2019
Went band for band and lost their quarterback. All right, what's next? All right, so I talked about this on my TikTok. Alabama star wide receiver Isaiah Horton enters the transfer portal.
This is my face right now. I was getting ready to film an entirely separate video, and then my
Yeah, that's tough for
phone
Matt.
starts blowing up, and what do you know?
That's tough for Matt.
What do you know? Another day, another Alabama football player has entered the portal. But not only
The bald man
another
fell to
Alabama
his
football
knees.
player, this is a significant one. this was going to be one of our star wide receivers next year. I'd argue and say he was one of our better receivers this year. He had 3 touchdowns.
I mean, and to be honest, it absolutely shocked me that Isaiah Horton entered the transfer portal. I thought he was going to stay another year.
In the Iron Bowl. A main reason we won the Iron Bowl and made it to a playoff. Isaiah Horton. No. 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 Shaking my head. Isaiah Horton has decided to enter the transfer portal. This is immediate, raw, authentic reaction. Gosh. You know, I firmly believe in this in life. When things are going good and you're going, man, there's no way it can get any better in this. Somehow, some way it gets better. But when things are going bad and you're going, man, there's no way it can get worse than this. And it somehow, some way manages to get worse. That is where we are as Alabama football fans. Now I know.
Sorry, hold on a second.
It's not the biggest deal in the world. It's not like Alabama went 4-8 and the dynasty's falling off. That's never going to happen. The days of Alabama winning 5 or 6 games a year, those will never return. Alabama is every year going to win bare minimum 8 games. It could be worse. It could be like Auburn. That's where I'm going at with this. But still, just everything since the whatchamacallit, why am I drawing a blank on it? The Rose Bowl. Ever since the Indiana game, it's been nothing but bad news. We got a little good news. And you know what? Maybe this is my fault. Maybe I manifested this because it seemed like we made 10 straight Alabama videos just talking about all the players leaving. And then finally, we get some good news. We get the transfer, the defensive player from Virginia Tech. I'm already drawing a blank on his names. And then we get Hollywood Smothers, the star running back from NC State. I'm like, okay, look, we finally got some good news. And I think that was the title of the video. But what do you know? The football gods are going, wait a minute. Matt B. Great's happy. Matt B. Great's in a good mood since Alabama got some players. All right, we'll put a stop to that. And boom, bada bing, bada boom. One of our star wide receivers of next year's team, a starter, for sure starter, he's leaving. Shaking my head. Look, I know this video's all over the place. Like I said, I intended on talking about something else in the video we were going to upload right before the playoffs, but we got to talk about this. This is the breaking news, so we're going to put off what we were going to talk about probably until tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon, so be on the lookout for that. For now, at least, we got to break down this Isaiah Horton situation. There's so many things that's running through my head, but you do got to ask this question. Why would he leave? You were going to start next year at one of the better teams in college football. And I know you're going to have a new quarterback. Maybe that has something to do with it because word around the street is he loved Ty Simpson. And he was waiting to see.
I'm sorry, but guys, well, I may have to end the stream now. I gotta, I'm texting my mom. Hang on.
if Ty Simpson was going to come back. And if he did come back, Isaiah Horton would come back. But since we know yesterday Ty Simpson declared for the NFL draft, that's probably, now that I think about it, what led to Isaiah Horton declaring to enter the transfer portal. But I then have to ask this. What is he looking for? He was productive at Miami, decided to leave there. Productive at Alabama. His numbers are actually slightly worse at Alabama this year compared to Miami. What more is he wanting? He didn't ball out by any stretch of imagination in the past couple of years, but he's decent. You see the numbers right here from our guy, Hayes Fawcett. In 2 seasons, he has over 1,100 receiving yards with 13 touchdowns. That is not bad at all. He's got really good tape out there. He could come back to Bama next year, put up 700, 800 receiving yards. Could be more. He could have easily been a 1,000-yard receiver and get drafted, I'd say, probably not a first-round guy, but second, third, or maybe fourth round. But yeah, it's looking like he's got other ideas in mind, and obviously he wants to go somewhere else. Or you never know with the transfer portal. There's just so many things that could be running through Isaiah Horton's head, and we don't know what he's thinking about. We're just trying to guess. Because you got to understand, some of these players just enter the portal to use as leverage so they can come back to Alabama like McBakwe did last year and say, hey, Ole Miss is offering me $500,000, so that if y'all don't offer me $600,000, I'm going to go to Ole Miss. Or at bare minimum, you got to match it. We normally don't have to talk about NIL too much when it comes to Alabama because Bama and Georgia are really the only 2 teams left in the entire NCAA that are not going to go ban for bandwidth teams and are not going to pay players to come to their school. Not a hefty amount at least. I'll let this be known right now. There are a plethora, not just one, not multiple, but a plethora of teams that would pay Isaiah Horton way more money than Alabama would pay him to come back. Because Alabama's whole recruiting pitch is, hey, we're Alabama. We're not going to give you short-term money, but we'll get you long-term money when you go to the NFL. I can't even sit up here in front, though, like I'm not going to miss Isaiah Horton. I loved him. And it's a very similar feeling to Isaiah Bond whenever he left. And ironically enough, those are 2 guys that had memorable games against Auburn. And
Yeah, which is crazy, and they also have the same name. That's wild.
Then departed. Isaiah Bond wasn't some flashy receiver, didn't have 2,000 receiving yards in 1 year, but he had a really good year, would have been starter on the next year's team, but he decided to leave, and that's because Saban left. We understand that, but Texas also gave him a Lamborghini and $1 million. But the whole hoopla with Isaiah Bond is Bama fans are sitting there going, dang, man, how you going to leave after making a legendary catch like that in the Iron Bowl? And now, I know he didn't have like a legendary catch, but it does feel the same way with Horton, and he had the game-winning catch. Had the go-ahead touchdown to go up 27-20. Alabama wins 27-20, but outside of that one catch, he had 2 other touchdowns, 3 total in the game. I'm trying to think about all the notable players that have left. So we had Keon Keeley, and not a big deal, not too worried about it. Even Q Rasal, whatever. Who else? Oh, yeah, James Smith, that one's the same thing. I would say, yeah, at this point in time, this has to be the most meaningful player that has left Alabama. You're talking about a starter in the wide receiver room, and at one point in time, it felt like this wide receiver room was really deep. But now, no, not so much. This was wide receiver 2 this year. Arguably would have been, no, not arguably. He would have been wide receiver 1 next year. Brooks would have been 2.
All right, man. Sorry, I gotta end it. I know I'm sorry. It's so soon, but